Touchdown FSU!
It's over. Boston College wins all the way.
It's a touchdown for Miami.
Looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Torry, Holt. Johnson's there. Touchdown!
And there's Orange in the end zone.
One of the biggest plays in Duke history.
A moment of magic.
I'm Jeff Fischel. Welcome to ACC Throwback here on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. This week, a rivalry that has all kinds of tradition, North Carolina versus Virginia. It is the South's oldest rivalry, going back to 1892. Each school can claim a president. Thomas Jefferson, of course, founded UVA. James Polk attended Carolina. And then there's Ronald Curry, or if you're a Who's fan, Benedict Curry. But before Curry, one of the great UVA-UNC games was 1995. George Welsh had built clearly the second best program in the conference behind only Florida State. But Mack Brown had the Tar Heels on the rise. So let's get out to the game. October 7th, 1995, the 100th meeting between the schools. I'll be tweeting during the show from the ACCDN Twitter feed. It's ACC Throwback on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Back here in Chapel Hill, and after some problems earlier in the week with the remnants of the hurricane, it is a very nice day, albeit a very humid day, and perhaps a little too warm for early October, but it should be no problem weather-wise. George Welsh in his 14th season at Virginia, and that has been one of the factors in the continued success of the Cavaliers, the longevity of George Welsh. Mack Brown in his 8th season at North Carolina. 1st and 10, Carolina. Johnson is going to throw the ball. Downfield, he's got Octavius Barnes at the Virginia 30-yard line. Dropped by Joe Crocker. Mack Brown with a little razzle-dazzle early on.
Well, one way you counter an aggressive defense is to put in a gadget now and then. And when you look at John Harris, who leads the team with 4 sacks, you got a feeling he's going to be there. So you counter that, and this is a pretty good play. The key is to tackle. If you miss a tackle like that, Joe Crocker comes in and does it. It could have taken it all the way the distance.
Carolina on the move, a drive that started at their own 35. Leon Johnson again, he has touched the ball on every play, and he is stacked up for the first time this afternoon by the center of that Virginia defense, Todd White, number 91, among the group that corralled Johnson after a short gain. Skeet Jones, the middle linebacker, is also there.
The 2 tackles, White and A.G. These guys really anchor this Cavalier defense. And that time, they gave up nothing.
Carolina operating at a much quicker pace here. Out of the huddle and up on the line of scrimmage early on. And Thomas will throw it. Looking downfield for a fullback. Good catch by Chris Watson. And it's another Tar Heel first down. Rondé Barber chopped him down.
You do a couple of things. First of all, you want to make sure that Mike's first pass is a completion. So you throw this behind the line, go out to your back. And you always have the threat of play action with these guys, but protection is premium. And you watch this nice throw and catch. I mean, this really is. It's a good effort, not a very difficult catch, but he pulls it in, and then you get to the flag.
Only the 3rd catch of the season for Watson. This is Jonathan Linton trying to find the corner. Good pursuit, fumbled, but they're going to say he was down. Skeet Jones with the pop. Paul London came up with the football.
This man, John Harris, made it happen. It's one thing to have the ability to get upfield and rush the quarterback, but this guy plays the run well. You see that? He's getting off that block, man. That is playing, that's textbook. And when you string it out, good things happen when you've got defenders that can run.
2nd and long for Carolina inside the Virginia 20-yard line. Counter play, Linton nowhere. Ran into the blitzing James Ferrier and Todd White, the defensive tackle.
I think you're going to be calling those guys, those names out a lot today, partner, especially those defensive linemen. Ferrier comes in. All we know is that he leads his team in tackle. He's been there all year long. But look at Todd White. There's a big guy, 270 pounds, and he's in the backfield.
Loss of a couple. It'll be 3rd and 12. Carolina fairly efficient on 3rd downs this year. Thomas with time. In a man. Leon Johnson inside the 5. Thomas with the patience to stay in the pocket and find Leon Johnson.
You sound like a coach, Jack. You call that one, partner. Now watch the eyes. See, he's not telegraphing. He's kind of looking away. That makes the difference. That gets the safeties out of the middle of the field, and it allows Johnson to do his thing, work the gut, and make the play. Good quarterback.
First and goal just outside the Virginia 2. Watson in motion. Johnson. Touchdown, Carolina. 65 yards in less than 4 minutes. An impressive beginning for North Carolina's offense.
Well, if you're Mac Brown, you know all week long you've been saying, guys, just believe. I've been with you. We got a chance to turn the corner. Look at the big guys up front, rooting them out. They take AG, put him on skates. You get the good lead block at the point of attack and a back that wants to score.
Scott Caparelli on to try the conversion out of the hold of Greg Williams. And North Carolina jumps out on top. Timeout on the field, 11:07 to play in the first period. Leon Johnson powers a 65-yard drive. This is Leon Johnson. Through the arms of Todd White for a couple. 11 first downs, Virginia without any. Let's go down to the sidelines. Mike Hogwood.
I'll tell you, not only does North Carolina have the momentum on the field, they've got it on the sidelines too. There's a total lack of emotion over here on the Virginia sideline. The coaches are obviously aware of it. They're walking up and down trying to get the guys going. But right now, you really don't sense a lot of life over here, Virginia, and that's surprising, this game being as big as it is.
Need a big play hog. That's their problem. They don't have anybody to make a play offensively
or defensively to this point. Thomas, screen again. That would have been gone the other way for Joe Crocker, as the pass on the screen intended for Octavius Barnes was nearly picked off.
Yeah, Joe was going up for the crunch. Didn't have his mind on the pigskin. But again, that's the Cavaliers defense. They always have opportunities. See, it comes right off the nick. If that ball's not tapped, then he was in great position.
It looked like, Doc, that Mike Thomas was throwing it towards Chris Watson, and he was the lead blocker. 3rd and 8. Leon Johnson, big hole. Johnson, first down, North Carolina. Joe Rowe made the hit, but not before Leon Johnson took it inside the Virginia 25. Again, terrific play call and a good block downfield by Mark Montoro, the tight end.
That level of first level up front, those big guys, man. Baxter, there you see on the pull, Bab, Honeycutt, and a good running downfield. And that's really probably their best, the cleanest offensive play on the ground. It's a excellent execution, man. Carolina's on the roll.
Johnson and McGregor, the running backs behind Mike Thomas. It's Johnson again. Leon squirts through a hole inside the 20 to about the 18 or 19-yard line. Percy Ellsworth, the safety, having to make another tackle. When you keep hearing the names of the defensive backs, it means the offensive line is doing its job.
You know, they're starting to get to the point now where we're talking about mauling people. Up front, 75, Ryan Baxter. So you see those blue shirts now, they're starting to get a surge. And Virginia's competing, but they're losing.
It's a warm, muggy day, and that defense of Virginia has been out there virtually the entire ball game. Johnson has thrown once, tries it again, wide open, touchdown, Marcus Wall. Once again, outstanding play calling by North Carolina.
Daryl Moody, what a game plan, pal. You got it working. They have had misdirection. They've had the quick screens. They've rolled out. I think Freddie Jones, the tight end, is the guy who deserves a lot of credit on this. He made that reach block look real, and he sucked those linebackers up, got the secondary as well. There was no way to recover, and the results. Carolina blue stomping.
There's Daryl Moody engineering the attack from up high here in Kenan Stadium. Caparelli's extra point is blocked.
John Harris.
covered by North Carolina, but John Harris makes it a 13-0 rather than 14-0 North Carolina advantage with 12:17 to play in the first half. .6:32 to play here in the second quarter. Carolina up by 13. Rowe on play action. Finds Pete Allen on the sidelines. He runs out of bounds after just a gain of about 4 or 5. Terry Billups and Brian Simmons chased little Pete out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm a little
Well, you know, we have important people on our crew. Now, there's Jimmy Vandeford, our sideline, our end zone cameraman. He is so important. We have to have all those troopers on hand to keep the crowd away from Jimmy in the end zone. That's how important he is.
More important than Hogwood? Are you serious?
Well, you know, it all goes with him. Okay. Counter play. Kevin Brooks close to first down yardage.
Kind of looks like Virginia has made up that yardage now on the penalty, on the punt, and momentum somewhat switching.
Well, Doc Walker said Virginia needed somebody to make some big plays, and the defensive stand, the sack by Ashman and the good hit by White, gave them a chance to crank it up here in the closing minutes of the first half. 5:50 and counting. Third and short. Groh will keep it himself and dive ahead for the first down. Eric Thomas among the Tar Heel defenders to make the hit, number 38.
Notice the last guy getting up. Agostino again. Walt Derry, you watch that left side. I mean, guys, Rayleigh, and then you watch Agostino. Again, he's got him on rollerblades. And you watch the tight end, Walt Derry downfield. I mean, that's a great surge by the left side of the Cavalier line.
Here's Derry, the tight end, the junior out of Roanoke. Thomas on play action again with time. Has a man open. Crowell. Touchdown. Jermaine Crowell has dropped the ball earlier, hung on to that one, and Virginia's on the board.
Well, that evens the score, and it really puts some confidence. Look at the swagger. Swagger's back to the Cavaliers. Now you can consider we have a ball game. Mike Groh makes a great read on this. Actually had his choice. Had Walt Derry coming right across the middle. Again, the play action. We've watched Carolina use play action with great success. This time he froze the secondary. That's a good catch. You see how he secured that? That's because he dropped a couple. Well, he didn't drop that one.
Jermaine Crowell, the sophomore from nearby Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Rafael Garcia's extra point is good. And the North Carolina advantage is down to 6 with 5:24 to play. The corner route to Crowell for the score.
1995 brings back fond memories for Cavs fans. 3.5 weeks after this game, UVA would do what no ACC team had ever done: beat Florida State in a conference game. In front of a national audience on a Thursday night, the Hoos beat the Noles 33-28. Now let's get back to the Cavs and Tar Heels for the 100th time, October 7th, 1995, and look for more of my tweets from the ACCDN Twitter handle. You're watching ACC Throwback on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Down situation. Virginia has converted only one of these this afternoon. Wide open, Kevin Brooks out of the backfield. Brooks down to the 23 of North Carolina. Omar Brown on the stop, but Virginia had the right play called that time.
Well, you look at past situations on a third down when they got beat on the prior play by Greg Ellis. You want to get something quick. I'm sure Coach O'Brien said, hey, if it's not downfield, Mike, get away with it. That time he does. You drop it down to a man that knows what to do with it after the catch. Brooksy comes up with a big play.
Only the 4th catch on this season for Kevin Brooks, but a huge one. Now Barber gets the call on first down. What a hit by Brian Simmons. It looked like Barber had lots of real estate, and Brian Simmons said otherwise.
Now when you run 4.5 in the 40, you're 230 pounds, and it ought to be a law against that. This young man out of New Bern High School just feels real well. See, he didn't get misled by lack of vision by the offensive lineman of the Cavaliers. He stayed with it, made the play.
2nd and 7, Virginia at the Carolina 19. Jeffers, Crowell, and Bird, the wide receivers. Here comes the blitz. Virginia picks it up downfield. Crowell. They're going to get contact in the end zone. Who's it on? Omar Brown or Jermaine Crowell?
Well, this is one time that a poor pass by Mike Groh worked to his advantage, because I don't think he had a shot at that football. That ball was up and away. I think he might have. See, you watch this at the end of the play. So you can't get to it.
Well, you could see the push, though. You could see the right arm extended by Omar Brown. Watch the right arm right there, pushing on Crowell, and that's what he got called for.
Now, that was a little contact there, but he was also the fact that Jermaine was going for the football. And I don't know how
not.
A little incidental on it. Yeah, it's just, but you're going to have those.
Pass interference against the defense. 15-yard penalty, previous spot, first down.
It is not a half the distance foul if you can mark off the 15 yards. So the ball will go from the 19 to the 4-yard line, and it'll be 1st and goal. Virginia down by 9, but threatening with 6:42 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
The thing that has the trouble you now is that, North Carolina, you've taken their best shot, and yet now you have a chance to score and get closer.
Charles Kirby joins Medley and Barber in the backfield. Barber gets the call, trying to run to the corner. Touchdown, Virginia. Tiki Barber makes it a 16-13 ball game with the conversion try coming.
Chris Harrison with the hug. Offensive linemen love it when those backs get away on their side. Whether or not you crush the guy in front of you, you got a guy with his kind of speed, and you don't force him back in, forget it. All Derry at the point of attack, then you watch Medley. See, at this point, not forget all about it. Nobody in the country is going to catch this young man.
10th touchdown of the season on the ground for the junior from Roanoke, Virginia. Just as Doc Walker said, North Carolina has handled everything Virginia has thrown at them in this ball game, played very well, but all of a sudden midway through the 3rd quarter, it's a 2-point advantage, and there is concern on the home sideline.
And ought to be.
3rd and long. Thomas throw it again. He has on every play. He's forced to by field position. Goes downfield, and it is picked off. Paul London with the interception. Up the sidelines and out of bounds at the 22-yard line. 23 games in a row, Virginia has intercepted a pass, and now they have a chance to take the lead.
That, folks, is Cavalier defense. Tony Dingle comes in, 89. He is the difference, folks. 2 big plays in this series. He just beats him right up front, gets away. Then you see the break on the ball. That's what the Cavaliers do extremely well. They break on the football. And it just, you got to think as an offense, but sooner or later, they're going to get us, and they do.
Big third down play here early in the fourth quarter for Virginia, following the interception by Paul London. They have to get to the Carolina 12. Good coverage on the play by Russell Davis, the defensive end, who dropped off. That ball actually hit him in the backside.
Davis pulled it off, but Marcus Jones was the factor in this. Could have picked up a holding penalty on this. I mean, he just broke free. It was a jailbreak. There you see Marcus one-on-one. Virtually impossible to try to block this guy.
Now Russell Davis on screen patrol recognized the play, spun around, and was the man defending Tiki Barber. So Rafael Garcia will try and put Virginia up with a 33-yard field goal try. And it's good. Virginia, with 12:07 to play here in the fourth quarter, takes its first lead, 17-16. They don't like using the T word here in North Carolina, but the first turnover of the ball game turns the score the Cavaliers' way for the first time this afternoon. Thomas to throw again. Out in the flat to Johnson. Trying to get away from Joe Rowe, or Joe Crocker this time. And just a couple of yards. Good defense by the Cavaliers.
Yeah, good one-on-one. Crocker holds his base, and then Ashman, 270-pounder, comes over in pursuit and lays the hammer.
Leon Johnson's fifth catch of the afternoon. Dwayne Ashman with the pressure on Mike Thomas. It's a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 as Montoro, the tight end, flexes right with Marcus Wall. Barnes splits left in the eye setup for Mike Thomas. And they give it to Leon Johnson, and Johnson gets it down close to a first down. Dwayne Ashman on the stop.
Boy, that's smash mouth football. Going up against some smash mouth defense too.
Now they have been primarily throwing the ball. Now the run is used as a counter.
Yeah, but look at the wide splits. So you got wide splits in there, and it allows big number 6 Watson to get in there. Got a little stalemate out on the wings with Byron Thomas, and that was just enough gap to allow Johnson to get through.
3rd and 1. John Harris back in the ball game for Virginia. Johnson, I don't know. I don't think so. Where the spot is, he is going to be about a half-yard shy. That time in the Smash Mouth Arena, known as the middle of the field, the advantage went to the guys wearing white shirts.
That's just a great effort on both sides. I think when both teams watch the movies of this, they'll both be proud. Now, that's just good, solid football.
Michael Dover will bring the chains over to see just how much North Carolina has remaining. And it will be decision time for Mack Brown.
I like to play action possibilities.
It's a
Carolina.
4th down situation. They are going to be the link to the football and a little more shy. Let's go down to the sidelines. Mike Hogwood.
Hey, how big is this for the Virginia defense? You mentioned that John Harris came back in the game. He limped off. He's got a twisted knee. He came off, jumped up and down it twice, and told the coach, hey, forget it. I'm going back in. I'm going back in. Next play, he's back in the game. He's not going to miss this defensive series.
Scott Caparelli has not attempted a field goal of more than 40 yards this year. It would have been a 41-yard attempt, and that's why Carolina is going for it.
Good point. And his long of 37. Now here we go. Watch your left side, folks.
Watch the staggered count perhaps as well to draw Virginia offside.
Break the tendency.
They toss it to Johnson. He's got the first down. Leon Johnson inside the 10-yard line. Ran right through the tackle of 2 Cavaliers. The biggest run of the season for Leon Johnson.
And they broke the tendency. Hey, I'm calling left, man. They've been running left. They go right. But it didn't matter. They could have gone anywhere with 12 with the ball because he made up his mind not to be denied. It looked like he'd go down there with Ferrier. Then he got Cavaliers ripping off his back. Left and right, man. Look at the leg drive. Strong run.
Clock rolling, 6:25 to play. 1st and goal, North Carolina. Leon Johnson. Leon Johnson, touchdown. And they're going to go for 2.
Wanted to get back in the football game, folks, but not 100%. Let's see what happens at the point of attack. The hustle is there. There's just too much muscle up front in Tar Heel Blue.
And that's how it would end, 22-17 North Carolina. At the blog whosfootball.com, they ranked UVA's top 20 stomach punch games. I could explain stomach punch, but I think you get it. Anyway, this one is ranked the 16th biggest stomach punch game ever for Who's fans. So sorry, Who's, you've just relived your stomach punch, and you thought you'd finally gotten over it 18 years later. Thanks for watching ACC Throwback and for following the ACC DN on Twitter. I'm Jeff Fischel.